that is you know what I mean? That's the thing I don't want to have, because that's gonna just blow my world. Because to me, those guys. Let me back up a little bit. One of the things I was, again, and this is another, and I'm a person where, if you asked me about Triple H outside of NXT, I would never have thought I appreciate the man as much as I do now.
Agreed. Agreed.
When I saw Royal Rumble this year, for instance, the sneaky fun thing about the Rumble was
you got to see Johnny Gargano, but you also got to see Pete Dunne, who's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. And they were in a position where they were seen to be about the same size, maybe not the tallest, maybe not the biggest, but you never thought it was something like, this is my little brother out there wrestling against these grown men. Why are you doing this? But this week, like you said, when you put DIY against like Sheamus and Cesaro, there is a clear size difference. And that gets a little awkward. Whereas with Aleister Black, he's kind of in what I would call I used to call it the Jack Swagger mold of, he's deceptively big. So by the time you see him with big guys, you say, oh crap, he's not, like, he's maybe a little skinnier than I thought, but this dude's tall. And so that's helped him a lot. And then when you add in Ricochet, I think Ricochet, again, because he didn't wrestle that much against Bobby Lashley, we didn't get a chance to see it. But Ricochet kind of was like in the same body type as Finn Balor. And unless, they specifically keep him away from, being put in a position where he looks less than awesome, he's going to get stuck in like, he's the one I'm the most worried about, that they just try to say, well, Ricochet can save 205 Live. We just saw Pac not do it. Why would you do that again?
But he's also heavier than 205 anyway. But, not that it really matters anymore. I highly doubt Buddy Murphy's under 205, but that's besides the point. By the way, how awesome would a match be between Buddy Murphy and Ricochet? Just to kind of throw it out there, if they did throw that out there on 205 Live. I wouldn't even mind a Cruiserweight Championship being defended on NXT, since Triple H runs both shows now. Just have that happen. I think that'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah, I agree. That'd be pretty sweet. I think that's the creativity is what you need with Ricochet. Putting yourself in a position putting him in a position where he can be seen as like this special dude and not just another guy.
Yeah, I think the main roster does not allow him to do that. I think he needs to be in NXT for as long as they possibly can before anything else happens. Plus, I think he's hurt anyway, because when I went to see NXT Poughkeepsie, he wasn't working the same. Likewise, why I think he was put in a tag match this week on Raw. I think there's something lingering, despite him being able to do the 6:30. I think there's something up with him. But anyway, let me.
Definitely bear out.
Oh no, I was gonna say I'm gonna have to pay more attention to him now, because now that you said that, I gotta see like, well, I wonder what he's trying to like. Kind of similar to AJ Styles with his back before he left New Japan. He was like, so many things were just harder for him to do, and just you could see him laboring. I'm going to try to do the same with Ricochet to see if there's anything that pops up.
Yeah, because I mean, again, I can't explain it, but I overheard it from people in Poughkeepsie, and then all of a sudden I saw it. I'm like, okay, this is not good. Anyway, I'll let you go now. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. Again, this is obviously so last minute, but I really enjoyed this. Maybe I should have Blake get me guests more often, because this was really enjoyable. No disrespect to any of my guests in the past, but this was kind of fun, kind of new. Like, we don't really know each other from anything else, so it's like, okay, now we're kind of exploring this. So this was a lot of fun. Rich, if you want to throw out any social plugs, any show plugs, go for it right now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. If you go to PWTorch dailycast.com, you can see where all our shows are every day. We have either live or something that we've prepared. I usually am on the deep dive on Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. And you could always search Spreaker or anything like that for PWTorch, and you'll find that. And also on Wednesdays, I do the deep dive with Travis Bryan. If you go to eastcoastcast.com, that'll have all that. And finally, feel free to follow me on Twitter at Rich_Fann, F-A-N-N, and I'm happy to chat about anything. Come as you are. Everyone's welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know we went a little longer than I had anticipated, but this was a lot of fun. I hope to do this again with you real soon.
Hey, appreciate it being on, and have a great rest of your night.
You as well. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Rich Fann coming on the show for quite a bit of time. I really appreciate him taking the time out to join me. I will be right back, actually, show you a match here, give myself a little break, and we'll talk a little bit about a little bit more about pro wrestling. All right, we are back live here on Spreaker on twitch.tv/Calypso426. If you are not listening on the live window, I usually start 8 p.m. on Thursdays. You are listening on Spreaker.com/filling_the_void. And we're back. There we go. Look at that. My ugly ass mug on Twitch. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for... now, I just want to throw something out there because somebody was trying to call in while I was doing an interview with Rich Fann. By the way, thank you to Blake for arranging that interview, and thank you to Rich for taking the time. He was generous with let me get to a couple things really quick here. I threw out there on Twitter, throw out a couple of unpopular wrestling opinions. I will get to it eventually and talk about an upcoming episode, and this episode will be it. First, unpopular opinion from @JML LaRusso. JML's, buddy. Bring back Vince Russo, or someone that can create stories for the very talented rosters on SmackDown and Raw. What's the major stories being told? Do these characters have anything for us to be truly invested in? I don't necessarily agree with bringing Vince Russo back, per se. I'm not a fan of Russo. I don't want him touching these talents that are coming out of NXT, especially. I do agree with bring somebody in with that could do something as far as character development. That's something that Paul Heyman could have done, but he don't want to do it. And honestly, I don't think anybody wants to do it unless you're a complete greenhorn and you're looking for a job in wrestling somehow, and you're going to start writing stories. Like, it would have to be somebody brand new and really has Vince's ear, but I don't know what kind of advantage they would even have, what kind of creative freedom they would have. Honestly, whether it pertains to the wrestling actually on TV, which kind of changed a little bit this past week on Raw and SmackDown with the NXT call-ups. But I think once Vince is out of his seat, if you will, as chairman of the board, then that's when we'll get different characters and more wrestling on TV, or a different kind of product that's on TV. So I think once he's gone, then that's when we'll see the drastic changes. Until then, I think we're pretty much set with people being signed just for the sake of having them. And that's also what happens when you have so many people signed on and you're trying to get everybody any sort of adequate time. So we'll see once time changes, but at the same time, I don't expect that to be the case for a while. A lot of these talents now are asking for their releases because of the way things are right now. Even if they were just to work independent dates, there's now a chance for wrestlers to make money. And you could see with guys like Juice Robinson and Cody, obviously different circumstances and different, but now because of other guys out there that have been betting on themselves and things are actually working out well, now other talents are going to be taking up on that opportunity. Obviously, those who have always had it to be a goal of theirs to work for WWE, it's a little bit different. I think they'll wind up signing anyway, guys like Trevor Lee, of course. But you're going to be seeing a lot more of these releases being asked for, and more importantly, releases being granted. Once they don't have so many people that they have to kind of try and do things for, then maybe we'll see different character development. And maybe if they allowed a little more of a leash on these talents to do what they want to do, or kind of build themselves up, and whatnot, I think we're just going to see the same stagnant kind of stuff that we've come to know and love. And I say that obviously with complete sarcasm and facetiousness. And the last one I got is when Sting came into WWE in 2015-ish. I had absolutely no interest in seeing him face The Undertaker at WrestleMania. This comes from Chris from the Lab, at Chris from the Lab. I can't say I disagree with that, actually, because for nostalgic purposes, now, at the time in which Sting got signed and then had his WrestleMania match, while I was a fan of the match with Triple H and the inclusion of DX and NWO that they did have, I would have probably preferred to have seen Taker and Sting at that point. Now, the two of them, Taker still had some left to get, like very little left to get, but still had something. Sting kind of on the same boat. I think as far as the characters go, I think they could have really done something good as far as a story build. As far as the match quality, I don't know. I don't know how the match would have gone, and this will go down as one of the biggest what ifs in wrestling. Like if Sting had actually come around when the Alliance angle was there, yeah, you would have seen Sting versus Taker, but Taker is the American badass. Sting is what he is, so as far as when he came into WWE around 2015, I think you're right, about 2015-ish, I would have liked to have seen that match strictly for the storyline build up, not necessarily for the match. That's where I'll kind of agree to disagree. So, but hey, listen, we had Sting in a WWE ring, which was awesome, something that we thought we would never see, and now we don't. And unfortunately, kind of like a freak accident sort of deal. But that's so, things happen for a reason, I do wish, though, that things would have been a little bit different as far. And I even threw this out there too at one point. I can't remember when, but man, imagine if Sting, Hogan, Hall, Nash, Luger, maybe Savage, among the other talents that came over from the Alliance angle, how different it would have been if that would have been the case. Like, now you have that big Survivor Series match be the NWO, Hogan, Hall, and Nash versus Hogan, Hall, Nash, Sting, and then maybe Booker T. against the WWF guys. Rock